Hello friends, dear faithful of the Archdiocese of Saint-Boniface. In his book, The Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens begins it this way. It was the worst of times, it was the best of times. It seems that that's a good description of what's going on right now in our world, in our lives. It certainly is a time where it's unsettling, disturbing to everyone for many reasons that touch our lives, that touch our relationships, that touch our world. However, as always, God is with us. God is present to us, at work amongst us, guiding us and blessing us. And so there are special graces to be lived in this moment together. In this video and at the end, I wish to let you know some decisions that have been taken by the diocese, especially in regards to our liturgical gatherings. However, first of all, I'd like to let you know how we've come to that decisions. And that's especially through a consultative process. What I mean by consultative is, for example, yesterday, Tuesday the 17th, I had a teleconference with all of the 8 deans, who therefore priests who gather their fellow priests in the various regions of our diocese. And so we had a teleconference, and my question to them was, what are you hearing? What's on your mind? What do you suggest? And actually for myself, that was in preparation to a teleconference I had this morning, the 18th, with the bishops of Manitoba. Therefore, Archbishop Gagnon of Winnipeg, Archbishop Murray of Keewatin-La Pas, and Archbishop Huselak, the Ukrainian Catholic eparch. And it was a discussion to come at decisions that need to be in common, at different elements that we might approach slightly differently, but all of us in communion. And that's really the most important part right now of what's going on from our faith perspective, from our being church together, is that we remain in communion. I heard somewhere, read somewhere, the churches are closing their doors. Well, no, we're not closing the doors. We're finding new ways to keep even more connected to one another. And communication is such a large part of that. And so I'm addressing you through this video. In a couple days, another video will be produced, more of a spiritual reflection. This one is more informative. And the consultation with the priests of the diocese, with my fellow Manitoba bishops, that will continue on an ongoing way. And with you, very much with all of you. What's most important is that as much as possible, peace returns to our minds, to our hearts, and peace which frees us then to truly be there for one another, whether it's in prayer, whether it's as families, whether it's reaching out to the vulnerable in our society, whether it's the frail and of elderly, that we free ourselves from our fears so that the power of God's love may flow ever more fully outwards from us all. And so the point about staying in touch. So please, often go to the diocesan website. We will be posting new developments, new information, new resources constantly. We're going to stay connected, and we ask you to stay connected as a people of faith. So now, what information as such do I want to share with you at this point? We've already sent a couple protocols But tomorrow morning, the 19th, we are sending out protocol number 3, and it has directives such as this. Firstly, that all liturgical assemblies, gatherings, on the weekends for the Sunday Masses and for the celebrations of the Holy Week are cancelled from here to the end of April. So all Sunday Masses and all the celebrations of Holy Week are cancelled. It's for sure in the parishes, the priest will be celebrating Mass privately, very, very few people with him, and celebrating it for the intention of all of you, for the intention of his parishioners. We call the Mass pro populo, for the people. Also then, it's very possible that in your parishes you already have the capacity to film, to video the Masses for nursing homes, or perhaps, within your diocesan website or other possibilities, Facebook accounts. That'll be a way of staying connected at the level of the diocese. Starting this Sunday, I will be celebrating a Mass, 9 o'clock in French, 10:30 in English, available on our diocesan Facebook site. And there, I'll be celebrating the Mass so that all in the diocese can continue connecting. It's a question of praying together. It's a question of spiritual communion, of being really united to one another in our prayer, in our love, in our faith. So the whole idea of a spiritual communion. Of course, people may also, watch Mass on Salt and Light or Vision or other ways in which Mass is transmitted. So that's going to happen. Also, all weekday Masses are also going to be cancelled. It's very much the question of not having gatherings where the prescriptions and recommendations of the Chief Public Health Officer are not able to be assured. So all weekday Masses are also being cancelled in the Archdiocese of Saint-Boniface and in the Archdiocese of Winnipeg. Another point I'd like to bring is that in all the parishes we are asking that the churches remain open, perhaps even more than they usually remain open. I mean, if a parish was able to have its church open from 9 a.m. in the morning till 8 p.m. at night, that would be wonderful. But each parish according to its possibility. Priests are invited to be there, praying themselves, but also to give spiritual direction, counseling, the sacrament of reconciliation, just listening to people, sharing with people, consoling and comforting people. And so this is such that individuals, families, very small groups of people can come and pray. And pray. We need to stay connected because God connects all of us. And we want to be instruments of that love. In the protocol, there's several other matters about different sacraments, different liturgical and parish gatherings, and so on. I simply invite you to go on the website. It'll be available as of Thursday morning, the 19th, and to just see all of the information that's there. We'll also be providing resources for families or individuals for their prayer, invitations to novenas, special prayers for times such as these. As our activities seem to slow down, and our outings seem to be curtailed, then it's an invitation to become even more now a people of prayer, and of prayer for one another, the prayer very much for the frail, the elderly, the lonely, the isolated, prayer for the healthcare workers, prayer for the whole world. And we pray that this, all that has come upon us, may indeed be lifted from us very soon by our working together and by our committing ourselves even more to loving one another. Thank you very much.